the 15 most broken champions made for 13.1b. Who are they going to be? Guys, I'm going to go through 15 champions. This is these, by the way. And you guys can make them in the comment section like your actual list. Who you think is going to be the most broken champion? Maybe I've missed out on a champion. Who you think is going to be Giga OP? Again, let me know in the comment section what you think the list should be. We've got champions from every single role, every single class, maybe. Not sure about that one. But yes, if you want to master, guys, any of these champions or any of the roles in the game, more importantly, make sure you check out the Game Bleed website. Description, comment section, the links are right there. All you have to do is click on one and just sign up to get exclusive access to a massive library of content, the best on the internet, that is going to help you improve 100%. Our challenger players and coaches are uploading daily videos for our thousands of subscribers. So join the club, get signed up, and yeah, let's get in to the YouTube video. So first of all, we'll start by talking about 3 top laners in this countdown, and the first of these is Fiora. Now, Fiora might be affected a little bit this patch by the Executioner's Bramble Vest buffs. Also Oblivion Orb if you're playing an AP champion in the top lane. But yes, Executioners and then Bramble Vest, it's going to cut you a little bit. That's why in yesterday's tier list video, she wasn't in Broken. She moved down to S tier because of Grass and the innate healing in your kit, especially when you get your ultimate right. Going into a Bramble Vest, Executioners, or Oblivion Orb champion, because Grievous Winds are going to be 40% effective on these items, it's going to be harder, obviously, to make Fiora work. But of course, you still have your big strengths. I mean, Fiora with Grass is just so disgustingly broken, and with your Divine Sunder spike, you should still be sweet, but there are a couple of top laners who will be in a better position in 13.1b, and one of these is Jax. Now for Jax, I mentioned in yesterday's video, Blade the Rune King is actually getting nerfed for Jax, so the cooldown is going up 10 seconds, and also the actual magic damage is going down as well. Before Jax, you're probably going to rush Divine Sunder pretty much in every single matchup, so it's not really a big deal, and yes, your healing might get nerfed, because yes, if someone has a Bramble Vest, if someone has Executioner's Oblivion Orb, Grass, Divine Sunder healing, you might not appreciate this, but tons of other top laners are going to be in a worse position, right, because of these. Jax, you don't really have innate healing in your kit, so you should be chilly. Also, Jax is just Giga OP. Like, the changes they gave to him, he's become incredibly broken, especially because you proc that extra damage from your ultimate on your auto attacks every 2 auto attacks instead of 3 now, so Jax is still going to be king of the top lane in my opinion. But one champion who absolutely destroys Jax and is incredibly powerful during the laning phase, this is Jace, and that's all thanks to those buffs last patch, right? So the extra base attack damage, Q damage, W damage, it's all too much to deal with at the moment. Also, next patch, Jace is going to, well, kind of be frothing it because Eclipse is giving you ability haste now. No longer is it giving top laners, or anyone who builds the item I should say, Omnivamp. So that's just completely gone. You're getting ability haste. This is awesome for Jace, of course, because ability haste, well, you just value this more than Omnivamp, of course. So watch out for Eclipse Spike Jace in 13.1b, and also yes, because you can get Executioner's Calling, and just remember as well that Mortal Reminder now is not giving you any attack speed or movement speed, like it's not building out a Zeal. This is really nice for Jace as well, because you just want raw damage, right? You want armor penetration, you want attack damage. That's what Mortal Reminder is now giving you. Huge for top lane Jace, and if you pair this with Eclipse and the Mythic passive, you'll be shredding everyone. Even improves your scaling, and your laning phase, like I said, is just so dominant, so he has to be in this video. Now moving down to the mid lane, just like top lane, we have 3 champions. The first of these, Kassadin. Oh my god, Kassadin's getting nerfed, your Force Pulse cooldown is going up, who cares? Seriously, like who cares? Well, it might mean something actually, I don't want to be too naive here, but the thing for Kassadin is that this champ, even if you nerf his ease cooldown, it's still getting reduced when enemy champions use their abilities, right, by 1 second. So in the mid to late game in team fights, you'll be spamming this on repeat still. And yes, okay, during the early game, right, you won't be threatening the enemy champion as much, but who cares about the laning phase anyway? Like, you still have enough tankiness with D-Shield, second win, whatever you're going, to get out of the laning phase, and then to the mid to late game where you're so strong. Remember in 13.1 Rod of Ages, Saris Embrace got buffed for Kassadin, like the extra HP from Roa, the extra AP you're getting, which is huge now by the way from Saris, and the Lifeline passive, the actual shield you get based on your max mana. This is huge for Cass, so I can't not put him on this countdown despite him getting nerfed, so Kassadin is another one. Now, we also have Tristana, who is the only attack damage mid laner in this video, but honestly could even be like the #1 champion in the entire game in 13.1b because of the changes to Infinity Edge, right? So Infinity Edge, the passive, okay, is now going to proc off 40% crit, no longer 60%. So what you can do is just get a Kraken Slayer and then get Infinity Edge as your second major item. This is obviously huge. This means that that spike is happening earlier, and it's the biggest spike in the game for any attack damage carry, right? Playing Tristana in the mid lane, you might be like, why I don't want to do this? Well, she's actually just better, in my opinion anyway, in the mid lane. You crush so many champions, like so many mages. Kassadin, for example, is one of them. He cannot touch a CS when a Tristana is in lane. Also, with a mobile mages, providing they don't have some sort of like knockback or cuck to your W, your rocket jump, you should be sweet. So maybe be a little bit careful though about playing Tristana into maybe like a Syndra who can knock you back, maybe an Ahri who can charm you midair. These type of champions, on the whole, guys, I think she's going to be giga busted because of the Infinity Edge news spike. The other mid laner, the last one to talk about if you don't want to play Caster and Tristana, Vex has to be mentioned. Because of those Q buffs towards the end of Season 12, it's on a 4-second cooldown at rank 5, level 9. It's also dealing extra damage because the AP ratio got buffed as well. And ever since that point, Vex really hasn't been touched, right? She's remained as an S+ tier champion in every single elo since those buffs. 13.1B, are you really going to be like affected by anything? No, so Vex has to be here for another patch. Now moving into the jungle, just like the other roles, 3 champions again. So starting us off, we have Echo. Now Echo is here because, well, I guess the bust to him like last season, where he got a few. But also, guys, I really just want to talk about here the jungle meta, right? Echo, because the jungle meta is now more like kind of full cleary, it lets you scale more. Like it's just more scaling, just how it is, I guess. Because people just aren't invading, people aren't putting pressure on the map, they're more than happy just clearing all their camps because of the Krugs changes as well, right? So the big Krug only spawns little Krugs now. And Echo, I just think in solo queue, he's the ultimate champion, right? You have mobility, you have engage and escape with your W and your ultimate. You're very slippery and your item spikes are huge. Like when you actually get to like Rocket Belt or Nash's 250 going that build, they just feel so good on it. And his win rates in pretty much every single elo are incredibly high, so he has to be included. Just like Evelynn. So if you don't want to play Echo, the next best I think AP jungler in the game is Eve. Now why is Eve broken? Well, not only did Riot buff her a few patches ago, kind of like Echo in a way, just like Echo in this sense, the jungle changes, right? People like full clearing. Don't know why, but they do. Well, Evelynn, I guess you kind of have to full clear, like you aren't a champion until level 4, and maybe even level 6, so maybe you're a unique case, but no one's invading you. Like, bro, just full clear. You'll be sweet. So players are just letting you scale for free, and a bit like Echo, right? Solo queue is always going to be solo queue, and Evelynn, because of your invis, because no one is going to put a pink in their lane or even like think about you, because that's just what people don't do, right? Like they don't have mini-maps, you can absolutely crush players in pretty much every single elo. Just make sure, guys, you do actually protect yourself in the early game. So if you're starting a red buff, ward your blue buff. If you're starting a blue buff, ward your red buff, protect yourself from getting invaded, and you should be able to scale into a game and take over. One more champion, guys. If you don't want to play Echo or Evelynn in the jungle, let's say you want to play, well, it's not even an attack damage champion. This champion is just all about utility, really. This being Zac. Now, I know Demonic Embraces are getting nerfed, right? So, you're playing a Demonic Embrace champion in 13.1B, you're not going to be as strong. But here's the thing for Zac. Get a Radiant Virtue. That's all you need, bro. Don't build any other items after that, actually. Trust me. Like, legit, that's all you need to be a champion and to actually carry team fights and games. Because Radiant Virtue, it's enhancing you and your teammates, of course. On Zac, when you go in to the enemy backline and use your ultimate, you'll be bouncing about, knocking them about, your teammates come in, bang, 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 and you win team fights, right? And we could talk about here like Demonic Embrace. Yes, okay, it might affect your clear speed, but as Zac, like all you really need to do is hit level probably 4, I'd say, before you can actually start to make plays, especially once you max out your elastic slingshot, because the range is crazy, right? Zac, I think in solo queue as well is just really forgiving. Even if you fall behind, you're always going to have utility and be valuable. And if you see a mobile champions on the enemy team, so you might see like Syndra mid lane, you might see a Gen 80 carry, Misfortune, Draven, they are going to get blown up, and it's a really easy play style. All you have to do is just go in, land a Q maybe or your ultimate, and that's pretty much all you have to do. Zac's win rate in every single elo, just like the other champions I've mentioned, is super high as well, so he's included. Now, moving down to the bot lane, kind of the big talking point for 13.1B, which AD carries, right, are gonna be busted? Well, first of all, I want to talk about Draven. So Draven is really going to enjoy 13.1B, kind of like what I said for Jace maybe, because you're getting ability haste, but from Eclipse that is, but I don't think it's going to mean that much. But the real big talking point for Draven is the Essence Reaver buff, right? So you're getting 10 more attack damage for 100 more gold in the item. So you're spending 2,900 for Essence Reaver, but you're getting 10 more AD. AD is Draven's most important stat. Attack speed, like you legit don't give a what's it about. So this is a big actual like indirect buff to him. Also, what you can do now, because Infinity Edge, remember, is spiking or 40% crit, so you want to get it as your second major item, Essence Reaver into Infinity Edge for Draven. Trust me, you will deal the most damage out of any champion in the game after 2 items. Like, I actually don't think that's even, like, questionable. So Draven, if you don't have him in your champion pool, yes, he's difficult to learn and master. Again, check out our website for all the videos and courses on him, but you should definitely have him in your champion pool for next patch. Another champion I think you should have in your champion pool for next patch and who does well against Draven is Misfortune. Why? Well, let's think about that Infinity Edge change again. So 40%, that means second major item, right? Misfortune. So Kraken Slayer into Infinity Edge Misfortune. You guys should be able to envision and just feel the power with this one, because you're going to be one-shotting people. Remember as well, Draven and Misfortune, both of them, their Ws are attack speed steroids. So any champion, right, because you're dealing more damage, who can actually deal even more damage because they have some sort of attack speed steroid, like Tristana, right, who I mentioned, like Draven Bloodlust, like Misfortune with your strut. oh my goodness me, like it's going to be very scary playing against. Not only will your attacks be dealing more damage, but you'll be throwing more of these attacks out than any other AD carries because you have that attack speed boost. Also remember with Misfortune, the ultimate, I mean Riot buffed this, I can't remember when it was, like early season 12, maybe season 11, they buffed the actual like crit damage in your ultimate. This is going to obviously like just be amplified earlier in a game because that Infinity Edge spike is expedited now. So Draven, Misfortune, the first two AD carries, but let's say you don't want to play either of these, you actually want to scale a little bit more maybe. Well, Twitch is like the other best AD carry, I feel. Also think about Twitch. What do you have in common with Draven and Misfortune? Attack speed steroid coming out of your ambush. Now kind of the question for Twitch is, do you go Blade of the Ruined King because that's getting buffed for range users, so the actual damage is getting buffed by 1%. Now the cooldown and actual magic damage might get nerfed, but you will easily be able to one-shot people still coming out of your stealth with Blade of the Ruined King. The other option obviously is to go like Kraken Slayer into Infinity Edge, right? And for Twitch, I don't know what's going to be best. Maybe if you're a Twitch main out there watching this, you can let me know what build is going to be best, but either or really. Maybe if the enemy team has a bunch of tanks and HP, you go Bork, but even Kraken Slayer does well against that stuff. But yeah, just the fact that Twitch has an attack speed steroid, I think he's going to throw off these changes as much as anyone. So here's the final AD carry. Now the last role, guys, obviously the three supports we have to talk about, and if you do enjoy these videos and want us to continue making them, make sure to leave a like down below. Now the first of these supports, if you want to actually just like 1v9 from level 1 onwards, Blitzcrank, right? Because of the buffs like last season where they buffed the actual damage, the base damage in your rocket grab, and also your ultimate, so when level 6 comes around, you one-shot anyone, like legit. Even if it's a tank you pull in, you'll one-shot them with your AD carry in your team. But also for Blitzcrank, what's popular in the bot lane, well, people just love playing ranged champions, right, and enchantresses. Like I can't really remember in my last 20 games if I had a support who was like an Alistar or a Leona. It's always the same, right? Like Lulu, Nami, Janna, you just see them all the time. Blitzcrank loves playing against them because they're immobile and squishy. Land one rocket grab, they go boom. So Blitzcrank is the first support who I just think counters a lot. Now also we have Janna. Now Janna is a shielding support. I get it that you have healing in your ultimate, right? For the most part, you're just going to be using your E, Q, and W, yeah? So with these abilities, because you don't have healing, you're going to be largely unaffected, in my opinion anyway, by the Grievous Wounds buffs, right? So if a support, a tank support is building Bramble Vest, if like an Ashe support or a Senna has got an Executioner's Calling, or if an AP support has Oblivion Orb early on, it's not actually going to affect you too much. Also, you can make use of the new Chemtech Putrefier. It's costing 200 less gold. Even though you might be losing ability power, ability haste just a little bit, you are getting actual 8% shield power and healing power, which is great for Janna, especially after Moonstone, right? So for Janna next patch, I think you're going to be even better, and that's exactly the same for Lulu as well. Shielding supports, because you don't have innate healing, especially Lulu anyway. I mean, Janna does, okay, I get it, but you're not like Sona or Soraka, right? It's only really with your ultimate, but Lulu is actually kind of unique. You don't have any healing, so you're going to be completely undisturbed by the actual Grievous Wounds buffs. And again, just like I mentioned for Janna, you can actually abuse these yourself against team compositions, against supports, against bot lanes who have healing in their systems. So there are some super interesting changes here, guys, in 13.1b. Those are the 15 most broken champions for this patch. Let me know down below once again what you think. Who's going to be the most broken champion? Who have I left out? Who's going to be really broken? Did I miss someone? Let me know down below. And until our next season 13 upload, this has been Eeks. Peace.